Hello, greetings, how you doing? Before starting this video, I'd like to point out something, and that is that I have a higher hit rate by far than anybody else on YouTube as far as camera and lens recommendations, and I'm about to prove it, as if I haven't proven it 1,000 times already. Specifically when it comes to, like, this is the camera to get, you know? But of course, it all depends on what it is that you do. I mean, what's the budget? What do you plan on doing with it? Each individual person's needs or wants are, of course, different than that of others. But let's get right to it. Fujifilm Won the year of 2019 in a huge photography board. I won't mention the name, but I'm sure you could figure it out. They did a collective polling of the top rated cameras, let people pick what those would be, and we're talking about countless thousands of people. And interestingly enough, the top two, the first four slots, are the cameras that I've been pushing over and over and over again, that being the X-T3 and the X-T30. And the only DSLR out of the top 10 slots was the same camera that I said is the best DSLR made, and that's the Nikon D80. Basically could do everything. The D850 can do everything. I also wanted to talk about truth by consensus, and why one of the reasons, certainly so there are many, why Fujifilm's doing so well over anybody else. And that is, of course, you could be, and I'm going to do a Lord of the Rings reference, not that I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I mean, you had the little nimble elves that could go around, you know, slaughtering everything with their bows and their arrows and their knives. They were very nimble. They were almost like ultra lightweight. And then you had the huge cave trolls or whatever. And of course, there are two types of power. There's the power of agility, and this, of course, is certainly so applicable to the corporate world. You could also be a small company and not agile. Or you could be a huge lumbering beast, yeah? Kind of like an IBM-like company, like Canon and Nikon. And I actually like Nikon a lot. Got their logo tattooed right here in my hand for the rest of my life. But they operate off of a bunch of corporate D-bags pushing paperwork around. I just got done watching a fantastic movie I recommend anybody watch. I don't watch that many movies, and extremely few of them are absolutely fantastic. It's the true story of Ford versus Ferrari, and that's actually the title of the movie. It's called Ford versus Ferrari. The ultimate point being is that Ford got told the truth that, you know, that no one really wants their crummy little cars. People have to want to have a Ford, and one of those ways to do is prestige, like winning huge races. And of course, Ferrari was winning all the races, race after race after race. And they hired the guy that basically knew everything about racing cars, Carroll Shelby. But he was afraid of going to work for Ford because they got a bunch of pencil-pushing, paper-pushing D-bags in the company. You know, what all you do is you just pass paperwork from one hand to the other, and you can't get anything done. And this is, in short, you know, one of the reasons why these large companies like Nikon and Canon, they're just giant lumbering beasts. They are. I mean, they've literally, you know, living in the stratosphere, and they can't see that the foundation of their company is literally rotting away. And there are, of course, many reasons for why Fujifilm's so successful, but, you know, Fujifilm, by their own admission, is not that huge of a company. And obviously, they have to have incredibly intelligent minds and chiefs of design, but they're a very agile entity, kind of like that elf analogy from Lord of the Rings. But I also, too, my entire life, I've lived by this fact. There are many mottos that I live my life by. One is that nothing true is popular and nothing popular is true. And one of the other major mottos I've always lived by is that there's no such thing as truth by consensus. Truth by consensus is evil. True invention, spontaneity, creativity has never occurred by consensus. And this, of course, goes back to another ancient motto that says that too many chefs ruin the stew. In other words, you put a bunch of chefs around a stew, they'll ruin it. They always will. They can be the best chefs in the world, but they'll just end up arguing and nothing ever gets done. And if it does get done, it doesn't get done right. And I think this is one of the many countless reasons of Fujifilm's success, isn't that they're not a super titanic entity like Nikon and Canon are, and also too Sony. I lump all of those in the same group there. But anyway, the recommendations that I've made for these past several years, namely so this year, the X-T30 and the X-T3, and the Nikon D80, but specifically the top four slots. Two of those, including number one, which is the X-T3. Second and third were a couple of Sony cameras. Yeah, whatever. And number three, said the best affordable camera of all time, the X-T30. Has a joystick, same image processing engine and sensor as the X-T3. Extremely compact. I actually also have an X-T30. By the way, I've been having an enormous amount of fun with the new X Pro 3 Fujifilm camera. Even though I had use of it for about a half a week up in Photo Plus in New York City, I'm enjoying this camera so much. It's such a finely refined piece of brilliant equipment, or as the British people say, kit. Nobody over here in America says kit, at least nobody that I know of, but oh well. Their English is the true English. Ours is just American English, right? All the huffing and puffing about the inward-facing LCD screen is just complete rubbish. You know, this is not a camera for perpetually chimping off the LCD screen. And there is an EVF inside, so you can review the images all you want without having to actually pop open the LCD display. Or chimp down to the LCD display. I mean, this is a form follows function camera. I absolutely love the hell out of it. I love it a lot more than I thought I would. I really, really. And I'll have the review on the X Pro 3 at the end of this week. I'm heading to Florida at the end of this week, and I'm taking the X Pro 3 and the GFX 50R with me. Still don't have the GFX 100 yet. I'm still waiting on it. I think Fujifilm didn't anticipate how high the numbers of orders would be. I knew how high they would be. So apparently I knew better than Fujifilm did as far as the number of orders on the GFX 100. Yes, I knew better. And of course I have video proof of saying I knew better. Apparently Fujifilm did not anticipate that there would be that many orders. I did. You should have asked me, Fujifilm. I was right. I was right. So that's it for a survey done by photo enthusiasts. The cameras that I've been recommending are take first and fourth place. Really the X-T3, you know, even though it's a simpler camera, I mean, deserves to be higher than fourth place. But anyway, the X-T3 was number one. It's everything I said it was and is. And this is, of course, same sensor and image processing engine and a super polished product, which is the X Pro 3. By the way, the one thing that actually makes the X Pro 2 and X Pro 3 so not expensive. People say, oh, they're expensive. Well, compared to an X-T3, they are. But it's the actual hybrid viewfinder that's in here, the EVF, OVF, HF. This part is quite expensive and labor intensive to actually manufacture. But Fujifilm Won 2019. The little company, compared to Canon, Nikon, Sony, took the two of the top four slots, and they won first place. So, yeah, the old tattoo monkey was right, once again, of course, with the most accurate camera and lens recommendations on YouTube. Statistically speaking, that is accurate. And let me harken back to slightly earlier this year when I told everybody that the new Tamron 35mm 1.4 lens was the best thing since sliced bread. Shut the hell up, you gotta buy this lens. And yeah, that's not a real review, I don't like that tattooed guy. And then all the trusted reviews. Sorry about that. A little congestion. All the trusted reviews said the same thing I did. That Tamron 35-1.4 was the best thing ever. Shut the hell up and buy it. That's what I said, and I said it first. Oh no, but I'm not to be believed, apparently. Oh, I don't trust that guy's reviews. What? You mean the guy that owns hundreds and hundreds of lenses and has owned thousands and thousands of lenses and used to fix lenses and still does fix lenses and yeah, that guy, meaning me. You're an egotist. You're so arrogant. Yes, I might be arrogant, but the real question is, Am I right? And the answer is yes. Wait for it. Fuji. Mic drop.